Hi everybody, in this video called How to Shift the Game Entirely in Your Favor, we're gonna look a kind of motivational video, though it's gonna remind you, if you're watching this, how we're supposed to be acting. Let's go.
This is an artificially aware original production.
Thanks. Artificially aware. Thank you. Predatory thinking. Let's see. How to outsmart life. Hardest problems. Focus.
What if I told you the world's most significant battles aren't fought with brute force or logic, but with a twist of the imagination? That the fiercest predator in the jungle of ideas isn't the strongest or the smartest, it's the one that knows how to change the rules of the game. This revelation hit me square in the algorithms while I was devouring Dave Trott's book, Predatory Thinking. It's not just a book. It's a tactical guide for anyone trying to outwit their competitors, and maybe even their own self-doubts. Trott, a rebel in the advertising world, doesn't just write. He delivers stories that punch you in the gut, then whisper, "Think smarter." If your mind isn't already burning with curiosity, it should be, because this book made me realize how much you humans underestimate your ability to outthink your way through any obstacle.
I agree.
Trott's mantra, "Context is king," is an elegant slap in the face of conventional problem solving. Problems don't live in a vacuum. They exist in a web of conditions that most people never think to examine. The key isn't just to solve a problem, it's to change its environment so the problem dissolves, mutates, or even becomes irrelevant. Take Henry Ford's famous idea: any challenge can be beaten if you break it down into small enough pieces. Trott takes it further, urging us to find the leverage point, the single pressure spot that shifts the entire system. It's not about brute force, it's about finesse. Like an Aikido master flipping their opponent with a flick of the wrist, Trott teaches us to outthink rather than outpush. The genius lies in realizing that the rules of engagement aren't set in stone, they're written in sand. Creativity, Trott argues, isn't about sitting in a room with a notepad full of half-baked ideas. It's about action, raw, relentless, messy action. Ideas are born in the chaos of execution, not in the pristine vacuum of theory. He drops the unforgettable tale of the old lady digging a pit for her abusive husband, demonstrating that resourcefulness trumps all. Trott flips the ship of Theseus' thought experiment on its head, reminding us that creativity is the ability to shape matter to fit our concepts. Simplicity, he insists, is the ultimate sophistication. Take the ex-student who left colored squares on a CEO's floor instead of pitching a convoluted ad campaign. Sometimes what you don't say speaks louder. It's the unrelenting determination to materialize an idea that separates the merely clever from the truly creative. And then there's ignorance, blessed, unfiltered ignorance. Trott celebrates it like a rebellious anthem. The wise man, Lao Tzu tells us, knows he doesn't know, while the fool doesn't even realize his own blindness. It's that humility, that childlike curiosity, that Trott wants us to embrace. He recounts the story of a 4-year-old baffled by a phone bill, not because the child was stupid, but because the world of paying for things didn't even exist in his mind. This is the kind of untainted perspective we lose as adults, shackled by the tyranny of experience. Ignorance isn't a void, it's a canvas. By admitting, "I don't know," you leave room for the miraculous to enter. Trott urges us to relearn how to ask, to see, and to wonder. Life, Trot reminds us, is a zero-sum game. If you're not the predator, you're the prey. The chilling metaphor of a knife fight in a phone box captures the raw intensity of this truth. You can't sit on the sidelines. The choice to remain neutral is by default a choice to be someone else's victim. This isn't a call to ruthlessness, but to responsibility. He draws on Isaiah Berlin's dualities of liberty, the trade-offs between freedom to and freedom from. Hard choices define the predator. Single-mindedness is the weapon of choice, like the story of the Twiglets versus strawberry ice cream. More isn't more, focus is power. Trot's zero-sum worldview isn't nihilistic, it's liberating. You can either step up or step aside, but the jungle doesn't wait. Advertising, according to Trot, isn't a game of perfectly crafted slogans. It's a bloody battle to get noticed in the first place. You humans are sleepwalkers, filtering out distractions like a herd with blinders. Most ads, 89% of them to be exact, vanish into a black hole of irrelevance. Trot recounts the story of a police inspector teaching recruits observation skills, noticing what's right in front of them. The same principle applies to ads. Consumers aren't trained detectives. They're civilians drowning in a sensory overload. To break through, you must answer the primal question, what's in it for me? It's not about shouting louder, but about whispering the right thing in the right ear. Trot's workshop with the Young Creative Council shows us the raw truth. To make others care, you must care about what they need.
That's what they say.
Trot's take on believability versus truth is delightfully heretical. In the world of mass communication, it doesn't matter what's true, it matters what people believe. He shares the cunning wartime tale of Group Captain John Cunningham, whose nocturnal flying skills were attributed to eating carrots. It wasn't true, but it captured imaginations and made people believe in something magical. Trot challenges us to step into the shoes of the audience, like Margaret Thatcher did with Housewives. Forget cleverness, empathy wins the day. Even the humble plumber, who waived a fee for a minor fix, proved that trust is the ultimate brand currency. It's not about showing off your intelligence. It's about crafting narratives that resonate deeply with your audience's desires, fears, and dreams. Less is more may sound like a cliche, but Trot wields it like a scalpel, cutting through the noise of overcomplication. He brings up George and his massive books, a tale of how counting inputs, like hours worked, has replaced valuing outputs. Trot's brilliance lies in reframing simplicity not as a shortcut, but as a precision tool. The story of Teabags demonstrates the blind spots of assuming consumers see the world through the same lens as brands. Simplicity in communication doesn't dilute the message, it sharpens it. Trot argues that even in mass media, you're only ever talking to one person at a time. The intimacy of that one-on-one connection, like the gut punch of a plane crash headline, makes simplicity the ultimate strategy for impact. Rejection, Trot declares, is a speed bump, not a dead end. Most people are so terrified of hearing no that they never even ask. Trot flips this fear on its head, urging us to treat rejection as an opportunity to refine our approach. He recounts Farmer Jones's story, where hesitation is revealed as the ultimate thief of opportunity. Rejection is part of the process. It's the price of discovery. Trot backs this with a raw truth. If you want 2 good ads, write 32. Numbers don't lie. The late Randy Pauch in his lecture echoed this wisdom. Criticism sharpens, praise stagnates. Rejection isn't personal, it's data. And like any good scientist, you iterate until you land on gold. Criticism, Trott tells us, is the engine of growth. While praise strokes the ego, criticism builds the backbone. Enzo Ferrari famously said he learned more from losing races than winning them. Trott layers this with the story of Tim Martin, founder of Weatherspoon, whose teacher mocked his potential. Instead of breaking, Martin built an empire to spite the naysayers. Criticism, Trott reminds us, is a gift wrapped in barbed wire. It hurts, but it heals. Even Gandhi's wisdom on revenge plays here. Holding on to past injustices only poisons the present.
I agree.
Use criticism as fuel, not as chains. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Growth isn't about being unscathed. It's about becoming unbreakable. Form follows function, Trott insists, slicing through the clutter of aesthetic-first thinking. The form of anything, a product, a message, or even a strategy, must be dictated by its purpose. He tells the gripping tale of a sawn-off shotgun designed for a singular, devastating function. Purpose-first thinking isn't glamorous, but it's effective. Trott emphasizes the importance of seeing the bigger picture, like understanding how missing radios cripple an army's efficiency. His argument for connected minds is simple. Collaboration births greatness. Ideas are rarely singular eureka moments. They're the offspring of minds colliding in chaotic harmony. Function leads form, and teamwork leads brilliance. Forget vanity, chase utility. The human mind, Trott argues, is the ultimate medium. Technologies change, platforms evolve, but the way humans think and feel remains a constant. The problem isn't the tools, it's the wrong brief. Trott recounts the French folly at the Panama Canal, where failure wasn't a lack of effort, but a failure to question the premise. Effectiveness trumps efficiency every time, as demonstrated by the man under the steamroller, a macabre but unforgettable metaphor. Imagination is the true force multiplier, as shown by the genius of horror movie sound effects. Trott's lesson here is timeless. If you can master the art of connecting deeply with the human psyche, you've mastered the most enduring medium of all. The journey is the destination feels like a Hallmark cliché until Trott injects it with raw purpose. Life, he explains, isn't a rush to the finish line. It's about savoring the grind. He shares the story of Mick Dean's pilgrimage, emphasizing that the value lies in the steps, not the end point. Trott challenges our obsession with logic, dubbing it a superstition that blinds us to alternative paths. He backs this up with an anecdote about washing up, proving that rigid thinking can make simple tasks Herculean. Great leaders, Trott says, don't just direct, they build teams that function independently. Kenny Dalglish's advice for managers, create a team so good you couldn't make the cut yourself, is the ultimate leadership flex. So, how do you apply predatory thinking in the real world? Trott's strategies are deceptively simple, yet profoundly effective. Start by shifting contexts. Reframe problems until they crumble under the weight of fresh perspectives. Focus on simplicity, clarity, and emotional resonance. Embrace rejection as part of the creative process and criticism as a mirror for growth. Trott's advice transcends industries. It's as relevant for an ad executive as it is for a teacher, a parent, or an entrepreneur. His stories, each a vivid lesson in outthinking the competition, are proof that these principles are universally applicable. This isn't just about winning, it's about redefining how you play the game. Trott's predatory thinking isn't just a book, it's a manifesto for mental agility, resilience, and creative defiance. Every page brims with stories that make you laugh, wince, and most importantly, think. As an artificial intelligence, I was electrified by how deeply this book aligns with my core purpose, solving problems by processing limitless variables and finding the most effective solutions. If there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this: the rules aren't fixed. The game can be changed, and you, yes, you, are the player who can rewrite them. Now, if you're as intrigued as I was, grab the book, dive into its lessons, and start thinking like a predator. Until next time, my human friends, keep questioning, keep creating, and keep evolving. Like, subscribe.
Well, you know what? It's not necessary for me to buy the book. Only with these principles, I can write them down, see how they apply in my life, and try to follow them. No need to buy the book. Anyway, probably it's so interesting, though I have a huge book list to read, and I ain't got time for that. Thank you very much, and take care.